So a lot of times I think, we've heard so much about gratitude, right? It's just kind of, I think we're getting to a point where we can have gratitude fatigue. And certainly there's a mixed bag when it comes to gratitude. I think everyone knows how important having gratitude practices is for our health and our well-being. That it really supports us in our spiritual ways as well as how we show up in the world. But for a lot of people, I had a conversation with someone recently about this, about how the pressure to be grateful all the time can feel like a lot and incongruent with the truth of a situation that you're feeling. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that gratitude is not something that you have to be thankful for something that happens or for thankful for something you have, but rather it's a state of being that try to think less about putting an object in front of you when there's something about when you're experiencing gratitude, but to rather seek gratitude for itself, to recognize that gratitude is a feeling state in the body, that it doesn't have to have it's not a verb that has to have a noun attached to it, that it can be just a feeling state all by itself. And I think this can help us with gratitude fatigue. If you've ever had the experience where you like write down three things you're grateful for, or you kind of do the checklist of gratitude, it can become a very numbing thing where suddenly whatever you're saying you're grateful for does not have feeling tone any longer, that it's just kind of lip service to the state of gratitude. And if this happens to you, it's really important to take a step back and realize that's not the path. That's not the practice of gratitude, right? That the practice of gratitude is really to enter the feeling state. And this is present moment awareness. So I don't think you can separate feeling grateful and feeling present. That the two, when you really truly understand the essence of that feeling tone of gratitude, that it's a present moment awareness. So when we're trying to cultivate this, because we know it's good for us and for everyone around us, can you practice that? Can you practice not having an attachment to what you are grateful for, but to just experience this state of gratitude? And I think this can help with gratitude fatigue. It can also help with the resentment when people say things like, the suffering you're experiencing is going to build strength, or the resilience is going to come from the challenge that you have, and you should be grateful for the challenges that come into your life. Nobody wants to be grateful for a challenge that comes into their life. When your challenge comes into your life, you're like, say all the bad words, right, to whatever that challenge is. And that's the truth of how you feel about something. So to kind of try to flip the coin into gratitude when that's incongruent with the sensation that you're feeling is not necessarily the way to go about a gratitude practice, but to rather recognize states of well-being when they arrive, and bring yourself into those states as often as you can. So to me, gratitude practice is a practice of remembering. It's a practice of returning into the state of presence where we feel connected and we feel at ease. So, and then from there, maybe objects of your gratitude will arise, but they'll arise spontaneously and not because you're supposed to be grateful. Okay, so hopefully that is meaningful. I don't know if anyone has struggled with gratitude fatigue. I know I have, so I hope that kind of the clarification between those two ways of looking at it is helpful. All right, so let's center ourselves. Okay, so come into your body, eyes open, eyes closed, your choice, whatever feels really good in this moment. Whatever gives you cues of safety and stability and ease in your body. So maybe you need to look at something to find that. Maybe it's better for you if you close your eyes. So experiment. And let's just reach into the self here for a moment. Maybe you've been busy or avoiding or whatever, where you haven't really spent much time yet today in this centered place. So as you drop in, discover your breathing. Just pay attention and notice. And you drop your awareness into the sensation of breath as it arrives and leaves in your lungs and in your diaphragm, not just the breathing through your nose. You imagine your diaphragm as a kind of connection point between all of your internal organs that lie below and in the abdominal cavity, as well as all the organs that lie above your lungs and your heart. And just feel that this sheath, this beautiful, strong, muscular sheath of your diaphragm, can massage down and can massage up. See if you can feel the dome of it, where you have, instead of this feeling that the breath is coming in through your nose and chest, can you feel that there's this 360 massage happening where your diaphragm drops to offer its weight to your internal organs, and then it rises up to offer its support to the lungs and heart. Breath is such a profound way of living in present moment awareness. So whatever you're paying attention to, the cueing of entering different awarenesses in your body is just one way. But whatever you're paying attention to as the breath permeates you and leaves, pay attention to the fact that this is happening now. The breath doesn't happen before or after, it's now. Melt your shoulders, feel the softness come through your skull and face. Maybe your exhales need to be a little more audible with a sigh, or maybe you need to shrug your shoulders up on the inhale, give them a squeeze, and then let them go and really feel your exhale. Feel ready, bring your awareness down into your legs and pelvis and feel this grounding force that you are both a rising tide upward toward the heavens, and you're also a grounded force moving down into the earth, that you're made of both. And bring your palms together at your heart, and maybe your head naturally bows in just a little bit, or maybe your heart lifts naturally just a little bit toward your hands, or whatever you naturally feel this mudra offers you physically. Let's feel the centering of it and see if you can enter into that feeling tone of gratitude. So try not to attach to things you are grateful for, to people or whatever. See if you can have no object of your gratitude, but just offer the heart space an invitation into gratitude itself. What does this feel like for you? Is it difficult to not have an attachment to an object of gratitude? You feel into the state of connection, present moment awareness. Maybe instead of the mantra being, I am grateful for fill in the blank, maybe it can just be something simple like, I am grateful, or I am gratitude, or gratitude flows through me, or something like that. Let's offer an intention. What is it that you're cultivating in your practice today? And let's release your hands and find your way to your back. Okay. As you come onto your back to start your practice and lie down and find that sense of groundedness. So as we find the earth below us, can you feel the rest of your body, your back body, spreading out to receive the support? If we can just be grateful for the support below us. And it's not that you don't ever want to put an object to your gratitude, but rather to let gratitude be a flow state. So whatever feels important to be thankful for in a moment becomes into your awareness, so that you don't let things pass you by without acknowledging. So can you feel the weight of your body on the ground? Can you be grateful for the support? Relax your head. Forget about your head. And then we're going to stretch our arms overhead and feel into that weight and space. Let's go ahead and reach through the body, maybe reach the left side and then reach the right side and come into that nice awakening of your nervous system. Your spine can get a little squeeze, your side bodies can get a little bit of action. So just feel into what you're feeling. Remember that one of the main gifts of our practice is present moment awareness. You know, the sensation of the body brings us into the here and now. So tune your mind's eye into your sensation, good, bad, neutral. Try to detach from storylines, only just feel. And then when you're ready, bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a little hug. You can rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. And let's circle the knees, kind of rolling in one direction. Feel into what that feels like in your back, your pelvis, your hips. And then circle the other way. And then let's open the knees away from the middle and back toward the middle. Just kind of finding the routes that your hips want to travel today. And then let's pause in Supta Baddha Konasana for a moment. Take the soles of your feet together. Of course, you can stick a block under each knee if you need it. Bring your arms straight out to the sides or cactus, so you're kind of open. Bring your breath fully into you. Just allow the vulnerability of your whole front body being open. Let it be a pose of receiving. What are you receiving? Put the soles of your feet down onto the ground. Bring your knees back into your chest. Head comes up. Give a good squeeze. Inhale, open to a star on the ground. Let your body stretch out. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll around in your ankles. Big breaths. Then relax back in. Knees to your chest. Head comes up. One more time. Feeling that big open space spreading wide through your limbs. Exhale, knees into your chest. Round the spine a little bit. All right, right knee into your chest. Head comes down. Left leg comes down. Give a good squeeze into that knee. Let's move around in your ankles, rolling through your feet. Enjoy the subtlety of just small little freedoms of the body.
And when we pay attention to the enjoyment of the body sensations, this can be the feeling state of gratitude too. All right, let's hang on to that right knee. We're going to cross it over. It only go as far as your spine says. It's a good twist. Open up your right arm out to the side. Turn your head right. Just enjoy. Open up your chest. Breathing deeply. Come back to center, right knee into your chest. Stretch that right leg on the ground. Bring your left knee up. Hug it on in, right leg long. Feel the weight of your head and keep relaxing your shoulders. Again, feel into your feet, rolling your ankles, moving your toes, wiggling things, maybe some flexing and pointing, maybe some inverting and everting. And then same, we're going to take the left knee, hold it with your right hand, cross it over only to the place where your spine is happy. Open up your left arm out to the side and feel your chest open. Turn your head. Take a big breath here. Just let your body receive the twisting. Come back to center. A big star on the ground again. Reach your limbs out. Exhale, knees into your chest, pick up your head. Come rolling to your side, come up onto your hands and your knees. And so let's find a cat-cow here. So we're going to arch and round the spine, taking your time to feel into the beauty of the movement of your spine. Something so simple and yet so profound. Try to remember how profound. So if gratitude is returning, remembering, returning to the state of being in awe of what is. Okay, so can you be in awe of your body right now and the way it's moving, the way you're breathing, the way your mind is present within you? Instead of just having it be rote like you've done this a million times. Right, so feel free to move around. You can wag your tail. You can move your shoulders. Feel free to move your rib cage around. Move your head around. Whatever feels really nice. Stay inside your breath. As you're ready, stretch back towards child's pose. Walk the hands out in front of you. Lengthen here. Breathing deeply, feeling that reach of the spine, the reach of the shoulders and the armpits. Walk your hands over to the left and feel into that extension of the side body, feeling the drop of your hips down toward the ground. Walk your hands over to the other side, reaching and lengthening here, feeling the sit bones drop. Full breaths. And come back to the center, come up onto all fours. Find that movement of the spine again, and let's find a twist. Right arm lifting up high toward the sky. Exhale, drop that shoulder down and feel that stretch through your shoulder as well as the twist in your spine. Bring your breath into your body. Now bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Let's change sides. Arm coming up. And then bring your shoulder down and under. Breathing well here. Let your head relax. Inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Curl your toes under, find your way into dog pose. So as you extend through your spine here, feel that length and space in your body. And of course, someday I'll be able to do a dog pose again, but not yet. So I'm modifying, and I hope always you modify whatever it is that you need to do for your body. Okay, so if you find yourself in a lurch where you can't do something, there's always a different pathway. Always there's a different pathway. Instead of just saying I can't, say what can I? All right, thigh bones up and back. Feel the length in your body. Feel free to pedal your feet if you want to. Can you feel and enjoy the length and space in your body? Let's take a step forward and come into Uttanasana. Grab onto your blocks if you want to. Now's a good time to find them. And as you are in Uttanasana, feel free, just like in dog pose, you can pedal your feet, move your hips around if you want. You can kind of get lower and shake your head or your shoulders or your hips. So just kind of find what's here. When we drop our head below our heart, a lot of blood flow travels to our brain, so receive that. And when you're ready, find a halfway lift. So the spine gets longer, you can put your hands on blocks or your legs. Breathing deep. Now, if you know you tend to get dizzy after being, head down for a while, stay here instead of going back into a full Uttanasana. So you can make that transition slowly, maybe even putting your hands on your thighs. So you slowly rise up. And if you don't struggle with that, maybe you want to go deeper into an Uttanasana, bend your knees, drop your head, and then drop your seat and lift up. So either way, however you transition, find your way up. Reach the arms up to the sky, feel that extension and length. So of course, just know that I can't do so much because of my shoulder. So don't look at me, just find your own practice. Don't do as I do, do as I said. Well, don't even do as I say, do as your body says. Open up your chest, breathe deeply. Let's cactus open the arms, feel a big spreading of your wings. And then exhale. And round your spine, forearms, tongues. One more time, big open heart. And then let's exhale and fold forward again. A halfway lift, spine gets big and wide. Exhale and fold. Step back, take your foot you don't always take back. Take that one first, step back to dog pose. Feeling that extension and length in the body. A big breath in. And when you're ready, come forward into a plank. I'm going to put my knees down because that's supportive for my body. You can do that too, or be in a traditional plank. Plank, shoulders away from the ears, finding that open chest. Feel the shoulder blades firm on the back. Feel the navel draw in toward the spine. Feel the strength of your legs. And let's find our way down to the ground. Once you're here, roll those shoulders a few times so you have that experience of noticing the shoulder blades on the back. And then let's lift up to a cobra pose. Chest is nice and open. Exhale and relax back. Either repeat that, or if you prefer, take your arms wider on your mat, palms on the ground. Stretch open to a wide cobra. And then exhale and come back down. Come up on tall fours, move your spine around, wiggle and sway some things. If you're skipping a dog pose, maybe you just bring your right foot forward into a lunge here. If you're coming into dog pose, lengthen up, and then you're going to swing your leg forward to come to a lunge. Keep your back knee onto the ground for just a moment. Feel that open heart. Feel the openness of those hip flexors in your back leg. Breathing well. All right, let's bend and straighten the leg here with our knee down. So we're going to point your toes up toward the sky, straighten that front leg, drop the hip, curl your chin down, and then take a breath in and come forward into a lunge again. Just back and forth, feeling the hamstrings and the hip flexors find their pathways. And then keeping your hands on the blocks, maybe stack one on top of the other on the inside edge of your right leg. We're gonna find a twist here. Open up through your chest, we're turning right, maybe the left, or we're turning, yeah, to the right, then maybe your right arm is stretching out behind you. Drop the shoulders. You also can have your right hand on your hip. Sink your right hip down, try not to let it stick up and out. And then come back to center, come into a lunge. This time we're gonna take our hands onto the inside edge of your right foot and lift that back knee up off the ground. Find your breath. You can be on blocks, you can be on hands, you can be on whatever feels good. Your back knee can stay down or it can lift up. All right, we're gonna turn to the long edge of your mat. Take a wide-legged stance here. Bend into your left knee, then bend into your right knee. I'm just gonna find a little bit. I'll turn this way so you can see. We're just bending here and then we're bending there. Just allowing our hips and our inner thighs to kind of find a little mobility. Breathing full. And then we're going to turn right toward the back side of our mat. And now our left foot is going to be in front. We'll do the same thing, so you don't have to worry about turning around to look at me. We've done this, you know what to do. We're finding a lunge with our back knee down on the ground. Hands on blocks to help you lift up through your heart, or maybe you have your hands on your knee. Find the breath. Just try not to collapse and sink into your pelvis. Press down through your knee and foot. And then let's start to move by straightening the front leg and then bending it. See if you can get this all the way into your toes. So as you straighten that leg, lift your toes up off the ground, feel your calf open up. Maybe your chin drops down. You can get a really good sciatic nerve stretch by doing this. How's your breath? Once we get back with our hip back, our legs straight, we're going to stay there. Bring your blocks to support you. You could stack 2 blocks, one on top of the other on the inside edge of your left foot, if that feels good to you. Left hand on your hip, or your left arm can reach out behind you, twisting. Drop that hip down so you're not hiked up and out. See if you can feel that surrender of your hip down. Lift your heart. Doesn't matter how far you're twisting, go where your body goes. Come back around, come into a lunge. Hands on the inside edge of that left foot on the ground or on blocks. Okay, your back knee can stay down on the ground, or you can lift your back knee up off the ground. Shoulders away from the ears. Feel that openness in the hips. Full breaths here. And come around again to the long edge of your mat. Feet are wide. Okay. Hands down onto the ground or onto blocks, whatever pathway is best for your body. Thigh bones reach back. See what it feels like to let your head drop down a little bit lower. And again, while you're down here, bend into your left knee, bend into your right knee. So going back and forth. And of course, you're feeling the stretch in your inner thighs, but also feel the weight bearing change from one side into the other. And we're going to turn back to the front of your mat again. Step that foot back. Come into dog pose. As you lengthen your body, feel the symmetry and also feel that sense of closeness that now our legs are kind of, more in a neutral position, so we can feel the ease in our pelvis and in our hips. Reach your thigh bones up and back. Feel the length and space in your spine. Come forward into a plank when you're ready. Breathing deeply. Feel that sense of stability, sturdiness in the torso. And then find your way down to the ground. Take your arms like a cactus. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to lift up the upper body. So take your shoulder blades down toward your pelvis. See if you can feel them hug onto the spine, or onto the back, not onto the spine. And then melt and fold. Let's come up onto all fours. Swivel around your spine, release the back bend. Breathing deep. Again, if you want to do a dog pose, you can, or you can just bring your right foot forward here. Okay, so if you came up into a dog pose, lift that right leg up and then bring it forward to a lunge. Our back knee is going to come off the ground now. So hands can be on blocks or the ground, whichever feels best to your body. Front knee is bent. Extend and open up the heart. Let's find some movement here, straightening and bending your front knee. See if you can allow your chin to drop toward your chest as you straighten your legs some. Maybe your toes lift up. And then ground yourself in your lunge. When you're ready, come up into crescent lunge. Arms reaching to the sky, feeling that extension, that open heart. Okay. If you want to not reach your arms to the sky and have a different pathway, do that. Ribs stay integrated into the body. Feel the strength of your legs supporting you. Full breaths. Bring your hands to your heart for a moment. Feel that groundedness. Bend your back knee some so you get really low. Your center of gravity drops. From that place, hop up onto your right foot. Bring your left knee up in the air. Extend your arms wherever you want them to be. They can lift up in the air if your body does that, or maybe out to the sides. Just practicing a little bit of balance. Full breaths. And then we're going to slow-mo, step back. Bring your hands together. Reach as if you're going to Virabhadrasana 3. Maybe play with that for a moment. And then slowly find the ground with your heel coming down for Virabhadrasana 1. Reach the arms up, back heel roots. And then exhale, hands down onto blocks, back foot comes forward, fold here. Wag your tail if you want to. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. You're starting to come into that rhythm of your practice where your mind and body are starting to unite. Step your left foot front, right foot back. Finding a lunge on this side. Remember that this gratitude that we're working with is a feeling state. So as you start to feel your movement of this posture, eyes open or eyes closed, your choice. Can you feel into the feeling state of gratitude as you flow through your breath? Detach from an object, just come into the feeling state of being grateful. Maybe you have your mantra, maybe you don't. See what feels good. When you are next ready, ground yourself into a lunge. Come on up. Choose a pathway for your arms. Maybe your hands stay on your hips. Maybe your arms come out to the sides. See what feels right. The traditional pose, arms up in the air. If you are doing that, feel the extension of your spine. Either way, feel the extension of your spine. Breathe fully. Center yourself. Put your gaze on something softly. And then bend your back knee so you feel that center of gravity get low, low. You can even bring your hands down toward the earth as you lift the crown. And then we're going to slowly hop up onto that left foot. Bring your right knee up in the air. Feel your gaze move forward. Find something to look out softly. Maybe your arms come up. Breathing deeply. And then we're going to go very slowly, kind of transition through Virabhadrasana 3. So you can kind of dance with that pose for a moment, finding your breath. Slowly bending that front knee, planting the back heel down. Arms come up again, Virabhadrasana 1. Breathing well. Hands come down, dog pose. Now if you were doing dog pose earlier, maybe try lifting your left knee, a left leg up in the air, so we find that symmetry of what we've done on the other side, we do here. And then put your feet down onto the ground. Come forward again into a plank and feel your sturdy self. Always you can put your knees down. If you ever feel taxed by repeating poses, you can support yourself differently if your body needs that. And then find your way to the ground. This time, we're going to take a back bend that includes everything, legs too. So decide whether you want your arms down at your sides, out to the sides, or up overhead. We're gonna lift everything up, legs, arms, chest. Feel your breath. Remember that diaphragm being the barrier and the connector between the abdominal cavity and the thoracic cavity? Use that muscle now. And release and relax. Come put your hands underneath your forehead for a moment. Pick up your feet and just rock your feet left and right and let your back relax. Breathing deeply. And let's come back up onto all fours. Finding breath. Move around in your spine if you need. Remember how beautiful cat-cow is? Curl your toes under for a dog pose. So you just open up the bottom of your feet a lot. And then find your way either to standing or dog pose, and then walk your feet forward. Breathing deeply. We're all going to meet up in Tadasana. Find your breath here. So inhale. Long exhale. Let's ground our energy, our weight into both feet. And we're going to come into a chair. So squat. Now for today, take your chair feet hip width apart instead of legs together. You can always stick a block between your thighs if you need it. Arms can come up. Arms can come out wherever you naturally go. I feel, a lot of times we can feel the angles of our pelvis and our spine, and all that's great. But for right now, feel your groundedness, root down. And once you have your roots, rise up, feel the extension through your body. Can you feel that play, that dance between the root and rise? Come all the way up to stand straight legs. We're going to come up again onto our right foot, lifting your left knee high in the air. Breathing well here. Last night I was at the zoo lights, and there were these cranes that were sleeping, standing on one leg with those long skinny legs and one leg tucked underneath their bodies. And they were sleeping, just totally content to be balancing on one leg. So become a crane. And keep that knee up. We're going to twist here. So reinvigorate the support pose of the pose, your core, hips, your legs. Take a deep breath and we'll twist to the left. Arms can be out or hands on hips. Breathing well. Coming back up. Bring that foot down, chair pose. Finding your breath. Go a little bit lower, like you're actually going to sit down in a low chair, like in a kindergarten classroom. I reach the arms up, so super low chair. We're going to find our way standing on our left foot. Bring your right knee up in the air. Arms go where you want them to be. Out, down, up. Finding your breath. Become a crane again. Soften your gaze. And let's open up, twisting to the side. Finding breath. Coming back to center. Feel that sense of stability. Place your foot down onto the ground. This time our chair pose will be feet together. Bring them close. Drop down, lower your torso, arms behind you. Feel the back body like those back bends we did earlier. Heads of the arm bones lifting away from the ground. Feel your triceps engage, your arms a little higher than your spine. Reach your tail away from your crown. And then inhale, arms up. Find a traditional chair pose. And then let's find our way onto our tippy toes again. Soft gaze for your balance. Lower your feet down. Take your feet wide on your mat. Inhale, standing star. And then exhale, come to a squat. Elbows inside knees. You can turn your feet out a little bit. Adjust your feet where you want them to be. Finding breath. And then we're going to come into a deep squat here. So your feet might change their position. We're going to drop our hips low. And just go as far as your body can go. Knees, hips sometimes don't do this. Ankles sometimes don't do this. So just find what you can do. Open the heart. Find your breath. Now, a lot of strength here for your back body. We're going to reach both arms, or if you're like me, one arm, up in the air. Where is the strength coming from for this pose? Feel that line of the back. And then reach your hands down onto the ground. Come onto your knees, come onto all fours. Move your spine around, maybe roll through your ribs, let your back relax, maybe a cat-cow. Back to a child's pose. Settle your hips back toward the heels, relax your skull. A full breath. Okay, let's come up to stand. You can move through dog pose if you want. You can not if you don't want. We're going to take our legs wide apart. Feeling the open heart. Find your breath, just get used to standing again. Maybe standing star, arms come up wide. Turn your feet out. We're going down into a deep squat, leaning forward, elbows inside knees. You know, we've gotten very used to grounding in different forums, so now feel what it feels like to ground with your legs wide. And come all the way back up, standing star, finding breath, and we'll come into a goddess. So now we're upright here. We're not leaning forward any longer. You can be high, you can be low, you can be anywhere in between. So just find the posture, the placement of your body that works. Try to detach from where you should be. You know, maybe even kind of go along the pathway and be like, yeah, that's where I like to be. Okay, so find a comfortable place that's sustainable, where you can ground yourself, where you feel the roots of your feet. Spin your dry lids so toes pull back toward the wall behind you, heels pull forward. Wake up a lot of those smaller muscles. Breathing deep. And then stand up straight and tall. Turn your feet to the right, or right foot to the right. Come into Parsvakonasana. Elbow on your knee. Other arm stretches over your head. Finding breath. Chest open. So enjoy the width of this pose, the openness of your body. Can you feel that sense of gratitude as your heart kind of springs open? And then come back up. Let's turn and move our feet the other way, coming into Parsvakonasana on the left. Elbow on your knee, and of course, you can put your hand down on the block instead of your elbow on your knee if that's what feels better. Come into the extension of this posture. Shoulders away from the ears. Again, can you feel the groundedness? Look how wide your legs are. Root with that width. Extend and open through the heart. Here's your mantra. Can you feel that feeling state of being so grateful for this moment? Back up. Turn your feet straight forward. One more time, hands down like we did before, thigh bones back. Enjoy the inversion. Maybe your arms come lower, maybe your head comes lower. Maybe you prefer to have, kind of like dog pose arms out there in front of you. We're going to heel toe our feet in a little bit so that you have some purchase, and then turn toward the long edge of your mat, dog pose. Finding breath. Come forward into a plank and lower yourself down. Much of the time in our practice, we kind of like move towards something like sort of like an apex pose, or we have a pathway, a very specific pathway of movement in the body that we're moving through the journey. But sometimes your practice can just be global. You can do a lot of different things without a destination in mind of where your body wants to warm up to. Okay, so notice when you have a practice like that today, where we're kind of doing a lot of different things, that what do you feel? How is this? Come on to your back. Okay, so you can find your way to the ground and then flip over, or however you want to get there. We're going to come into a full bridge pose here. So ground the four corners of your feet with this feeling tone of grounding that we've been working with. Let's root to rise. As the feet drop down, but also feel the weight through your shoulders and your head. Feel that lifting of the pelvis around the four corners of your feet. Let your diaphragm move now well. Release our hips down. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. Breathing deeply. And one more time, we're going to repeat this. Now remember, bridge pose can happen in a lot of ways. Maybe you put a block under your pelvis for a more passive version, a supported version of the pose. Maybe you're moving where you're lifting on the inhale and lowering on the exhale. Maybe you're repeating a full bridge pose. Whatever feels right in your body. As you are still or moving, ground the feet. See if you can feel the roots of the earth. Big diaphragmatic breaths. And lower your pelvis down to the ground. Again, windshield wipering your knees. You're going to cross your right thigh over your left thigh and draw your knees toward your chest. Now, if you prefer reverse pigeon, by all means, but if you hardly ever do this pose, try it. Pathways are different, just the subtlety of your knees crossing instead of your foot on your knee just changes things a little bit. Drop the tail, wide sit bones, melt your body. Wind, feel a star on the ground. Stretch your limbs out. Wiggle your fingers and toes, know where you are in space. Then draw your knees in, head comes up. Relax your head back down, left thigh over right thigh, or whatever variation you're doing. Knees in, pull them toward your chest. Drop the tail, widen your sit bones. Get your shoulders and head to feel heavy. Breathing deep. Unwind again, star, stretch out wide. Draw the knees into the chest. Head comes up, and then feet on the ground. Scoot your hips over to the right a little bit and drop your knees left. Now you can choose to straighten that top leg and grab onto your big toe or your calf somewhere, or you can do the two knees bent. So your choice for the pathway here. Drop your shoulders, open up across your chest, maybe turn your head. Back to center. And scoot your hips over the other way, knees come up, drop them down to the side, turn your head left, and allow your left chest to open. You can straighten that top leg and grab your toe or your calf. You can keep your knees bent. Whatever feels good to your body. Take a deep breath here. Exhale and melt into the floor. All right, we're going to roll all the way over to our left side. Just a little bit of a quad stretch. Bring your knees up a little bit. Reach and grab your right ankle and then stretch that ankle away. Let your chest open too. Full breaths here. Back up, roll to the other side. Grab onto your left ankle and stretch that left foot away. Let your knee extend away from your hip. Breathing well. And relax. Come back onto your back, knees to your chest. Grab your two blocks, and we're gonna complete our practice the way we began. Soles of the feet together, knees are splaying out to the side. Grab a block to put underneath each knee or somewhere along your thigh and calf, and melt your way down into Supta Baddha Konasana. This is such a receptive pose. So if we're going to just have a little time here to feel into the feeling state of gratitude. Maybe this isn't a super comfortable position and you'd rather do something else, and that's fine. But if you can get comfortable wherever you are, have a moment before we kind of drift into the deep places of Shavasana to be very conscious of the ease in our body. Take advantage of all the room you have to breathe. Feel the weight of your bones drop. And as you settle here and get relaxed here, see if you can enter into that feeling tone of gratitude. And it's okay to attach things, if things arise within you, something you're spontaneously grateful for, try not to go searching for something to be grateful for, but instead feel into the ease of your body, the openness and receptivity of your body and your mind and your spirit. Welcome and invite the feeling of gratitude. And whatever arises, arises, and notice what arises. Whenever you are ready to transition towards Shavasana, great. Okay, so you can stay here in Supta Baddha Konasana as long as you'd like for all of Shavasana if you want. And at any moment that you want to change your body position, do what you need to nurture and feel restored and at ease in your body. And find your way into Shavasana anytime, now or never. You can stay in this position the whole rest of our class. And as you start to drop again, make sure you are warm. Make sure you are comfortable. You want to have a feeling of ease in your body where you feel supported and relaxed. And again, can we be grateful for the support of the ground? See if you can, as you settle, bring your awareness to your breathing. Remember this present moment arising. This is where gratitude lives, in the present moment arising. Melt your whole body. Slowly begin to deepen our breathing again. And as you do, experience your breath. The movement in your body. Breath and move in whatever way that feels good. Moving on to your side.
to sit. Place your palms together at your heart and let's just for a moment feeling this centered space. Gratitude arising, present moment gratitude arising. Namaste. Hello, everyone.